Let's talk about Nicole Kidman. And by the way, I'm getting none of this from Q. Q may be awesome, Q not be. I'm just not in that train. This is accessible information. You do not need an inside guy for any of this. It's wide out in the open. So Nicole Kidman, I always thought it was weird. This is her brother-in-law. The cause of death is undetermined and the manner of death is undetermined. Director of Police Affairs of New York City told blah, blah. The sudden death of one of Sydney's society princes attracted much and autopsy findings. They denied having an autopsy. They didn't have an autopsy to preserve the privacy of the family. Very weird. There's a very healthy young man, died for no reason. Okay, so I'm intrigued. I'm looking more into this. Let's look more into the Kidmans. Kidman had a strong moral. Oh, this is about his the dad. Okay, this is all going to start making sense, guys. Just stay with me. Bear in mind, let me read you one more time what the associative, those mental disorders, what they are and what causes them. All right, causes. The disorders most often form in children subjected to long-term physical, sexual, emotional abuse, or less often, a home environment that's frightening or highly unpredictable, right? I think a lot of us have that, right? I think that's one thing that the Bears have in common. We have a little bit of madness, but we claw our way out. You know what I'm saying? Personal identity is still forming during childhood. The disorders most often form in children subjected to long-term physical, sexual, blah, blah. The stress of war or natural disasters also can bring on dissociative disorders. Personal identity is still forming. Oh, why did I just repeat that? I just copy and pasted twice. Dissociation is a process linked to lapses of attention, ADHD, history of abuse or trauma, compromised emotional memory, and no emotional memory, so you don't know how to feel about things. Does that sound vaguely familiar? And a disintegrated sense of self. This is a mental disease, right? It's when people say, I identify. Well, I'm trans, non-binary. It's literally a mental disorder, right? And it comes from trauma. It is theorized that dissociation stems from avoiding emotional information, especially negative emotion. You know, it's big bouts of trauma and then no criticism or any of that stuff. All right. Especially to protect a fragile psyche. So that's what you grow into. You have no ability of handling negative emotion because you have a fragile psyche. Well, there's no quote unquote cure for dissociative identity disorder. Long-term treatment can be helpful. Listen to what long-term treatment is. Talk therapy. That means having a community. Adjunctive therapy such as art or movement therapy. So basically it means exercise, express yourself with art, and talk to people. You know, the stuff that we've known for thousands and thousands of years is what makes us human beings. So why would someone possibly want a nation of people with that disorder? Kidman had a strong moral compass. This is about the guy. By the way, he's one of the heads of a giant pedophile network. We'll get to that in a second. I just want to, cue you in on where we're headed. Kidman had a strong moral compass. This is her father. Nicole Kidman's father, actress in movie Eyes Wide Shut. We'll get to that in a second as well. He believed those who struggle in society should be supported by government. So you mean he likes the needy. He likes people that need him. He likes power. He does not want people to have their own sense of self or they're in control of they want to be needed by the government. He often wrote as senior politicians about injustices he witnessed at the grassroots. Just wait till you find out how insane this is. As early as 1970s, Kidman returned to Australia, accepting a senior lecturer position in the Department of Biochemistry at Monash University. Antonia, his second child, soon arrived to complete their family. Blah, blah. All right. Journalist, popular TV presenter, media. Performing is not the only passion he shared with his daughter. Performer. He was foremost an academic and was at his happiest when he left to research, ponder, and write his own books and articles. He was immensely proud of that. In recent times, Antonia had followed a similar pathway, undertaking and excelling in law. Okay, so we have law, performance, psychology. In 1972, Kidman made the move to the University of Technology, study for, I hope I didn't miss the part that I really, all right, I might have missed the part, but it might have gotten cut off, but I got way more. Psychologist, the official journal of clinical Australian psychology. All right, around the world will miss him. This is after he died mysteriously in Sydney as he was fleeing sex scandal, by the way. In 2005, Kidman was made a member of the Order of Australia for his contribution to clinical psychology. His academic achievement include 154 journal articles and 9 books, as well as regular presenters at conferences internationally, probably a lot in Thailand. He was an early advocate of the self-help movement, translating psychological science into accessible books for the community. One of his greatest passions was singing. He followed blah, blah, and various. He also enjoyed the performing songs at local retirement villages. All right, that wasn't in there yet. Hang on. Hang on. With the explosive claims in the weekend paper, I'll tell you what I was getting at if it's not one of these articles. Of child sex abuse revealed against Cardinal George Pell, we reflect back to 2014. The article was originally blah, blah. Dr. Anthony Kidman died Friday after fleeing Australia when accused of the sexual abuse and murder of children in an elite Sydney pedophile ring. A month prior, Fiona Barnett had filed a complaint with the Australian NSW Police and Child Abuse Royal Commission alleging Kidman's sexual and physical assaults on her throughout her childhood. She also claims she witnessed a child being skinned alive. I'll get to why they like to make them scared. The clinical of 43 years, where he went to Singapore until he died. The families refused to comment on Singapore police has an open investigation on what they termed an unnatural death. Yesterday, Barnett released her own theory about Kidman's death. Yeah, they said he fell from a building, and then they said he died of a heart attack. It happened on White Balloon Day, an event meaningful to me. This is a blog post because it raised awareness for child sex assault victims. The main perpetrator of my childhood abuse was Anthony Kidman, died suddenly in Singapore. Yesterday, he had his funeral. Kidman was, as I alleged, part of a Sydney-based pedophile ring. I was victim up until 15. What is undisputed is that at the time of his death, Kidman was under investigation by the NSW Healthcare Complaints Commission, the Psychology Council of and presumably the Royal Commission into Institutional Responses to Child Abuse, as well as the police. So they're all coming at him. His whole world's falling apart. I'll just tell you, he was specializing in anti-bullying. He's trying to create a world where there's no male that can stand up for anybody. He raped and killed a ton of kids. It's kind of like the dude in England. Since 1986, I've reported Kidman's crimes to health professionals, none of whom adhered to mandatory reporting legislation until 2008. I reported Kidman's involvement in the Sydney-based pedophile ring to the police, blah, blah, blah. All right. Let's keep going. All right, Kidman. This is when things get a little demonic again. All right, this shook me up a little bit. So we just discussed how the earth is Lucifer's realm, right? Nicole Kidman's relatives are among the largest landowners on the planet, researchers believe. Nicole Kidman's family is one of the largest landowners on the planet. Wait till you see. Australian farming company Kidman Holdings is the 8th biggest landowner in the world. You want to see? It's 4.5 times the size of Wales. All right. Want to take a look at this? Wait till you see this. See those lit up areas, the red areas? A map of Australia shows in red the vast amount of land spread over 17 locations belonging to the Kidman Holdings, said to be larger than Hungary, larger even than 90 of the world's smaller states. They own all of it. Why does that matter? Landowners, the biggest landowners in the world are the Queen, riddled with pedophile scandals, royal family, King Abdullah of Saudi Arabia, the old child sex trafficker. Of course, the Pope can't keep his hands off kids, or if not him, it's he covers for people. You know, these are just a list. This is just a list. The King of Thailand. What is Thailand known for? Child sex industry. It's nuts, dude. It's all nutty. All right, so let's get back to more Kidman. Anthony Kidman says he dies of a heart attack after he died falling out of a building. And I read somewhere else that there was a vigilante justice happening. All right, what do we got here? Tony will be missed. Tony will be missed. Where is it? Together, young people. Providing services for young people in the delivery of appropriate treatment and clinical services. He authored several publications dealing with anxiety and depression and was a regular speaker on television and radio. I missed the part. Oh, here we go. In particular, psychosis, bullying, and stress. So it's starting to make a little sense that his fascination in the world is stress, psychosis, and bullying of children, right? And he's credibly accused by it's crazy, the Sydney pedophile stuff, if you want to get into that, of killing children and drinking their blood. This is when things get wild. All right, now eyes wide shut. This is how Satanism and this ultra elite pedophile demonic stuff is described by like Illuminati people and all that. It's shown in a Nicole Kidman movie. And I'll tell you why they do this. This is from a movie, and it's right out of it. They do this because it's a psychological trick. What Hollywood does is they take a horror that's either coming or everyone feels and knows is around, and they write a story around it. Like I think why they produced Hunger Games is because of Agenda 21. You know, they want your mind to not tell the difference between reality and fiction. So Nicole Kidman stars in a movie about secret sex, pedophile, demonic subcultures. And then it turns out that's what she's from. The Rothschilds, here's a picture. I honestly don't know that much about the Rothschilds, but the thing about the Rothschilds is they embraced that you know, earthly desire religion. And I mean, it sounds all well and good on the surface, but it always degrades. All right, so why do they drink blood of children? Right now you're like, Big Bear, there's no way. Listen, drinking the blood of children, they feel makes them young, and they scare the kids because there's something called adrenochrome. I don't know if this part is real, to be honest with you. I know they drink the kids' blood. I'll show you. We're getting there. But they say adrenochrome or something. It's when a young child releases fear in their body. If you drink their blood, it feels like you're high. And then you have the Black Dahlia. No one knows how Black Dahlia died. The mouth was cut like this. Just some beautiful girl. No one knows the story. Ritualistic sacrifice. They did a movie about it. Eyes Wide Shut. Nicole Kidman's father was being chased down by every institution in Australia because he was part of a Sydney pedophile ring. They're the biggest landowners next to like the Saudis, the Catholic Church, and the country of Jordan. They're demons, dude. And I hope now you understand why I have a bit of a chip on my shoulder about Hollywood. I thought these people really were just wacky artists. I thought that they really did just like doing blow and Ouija boards and stuff. I didn't understand when I left. I truly believe, I don't believe that God is in my life, like moving my keys and stuff like that. I think I'm supposed to do something good because I was saved. This is hell. I'm showing you guys hell. How did we get out? And these people are doing the devil's bidding straight up. Do not hurt them. Do not harm them. Don't kill them. Killing these people because they're not in control. They're not the devil. You kill them, the devil doesn't care. Do not hurt these people physically. The way to shame the devil is to be good and survive. You're going to always feel the sins. You're always going to feel temptations. You're always going to fear death. You may doubt that heaven exists sometimes. You're fallen. We're in hell. Like the earth is the fallen land. Don't indulge in it. You end up like these are, that's the thing that's so tragic about these people. It's like Hollywood is full of so many talented people, so many damaged kids that rose out of horrible environments only to express themselves with words and dance and art and music but they're sacrificial lambs to Satan. And